Hey, Coach. Super excited you found us on YouTube. Couple things. First of all, subscribe. That's the first thing. Second thing is go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. I know all of us want to win more games, have more fun in less time. Let me help you. I've been through it all. 30 plus years, lots of state championships. Let me help you do that. All right, let's head off to the video.
I'm gonna record this.
I would say I don't know. It's hard to. I mean, it was all good. I mean, this was my fourth year coaching, and I'm not a traditional coach from the sense that I'm a teacher. I work outside of the school district, and I'll be 60 years old here in about a month and a half. So
Happy birthday. My brother just turned 60.
okay, yeah.
I say everyone that ends in a 0 and a 5, you feel it a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, I give my kids a hard time because, well, they don't think of me as being 59 right now. So if I
I
beat them
know.
up in practice a little bit, they don't like that too much. But
I know. I can still beat them all on horse. I tell them that.
that's
Like,
about it. Yeah.
yeah, I can beat you in horse as long as you
I
don't go
learned
too.
quickly that the mind is willing, but the body's not able.
Yes. Yeah, I'm 56. I don't feel 56. I feel about 35. And
I
it's
hear
like,
you. I hear you.
like that's being around kids. I'm convinced
Right.
of that. I'm
Yeah,
convinced.
it keeps you young. And
It's like the movie Cocoon. It's like
the
there's life force.
the superintendent who hired me said that they're having a harder time with younger guys. You know, they come in right away, but then they lose them after about 5 to 10 years because family starts and then the wives, you know, that
And they burn out. And I'm telling you, I've had 3 or 4 of these interviews this week, and I don't think any of them are teachers. Any of my coaches I've talked to are teachers, and it's so different because that was not when I came up. You had like you wanted to coach, you had to be a teacher. That was
right.
that's
Yeah,
just what you
there was
did.
no outside.
Yeah,
There
they
wasn't
weren't.
such a thing. I graduated in 82 and yeah, there was no such thing.
Yeah, I'm 85, and it's like you know what are you talking about?
I
But
didn't play with a 3-point line. I never got the experience.
I did in college.
Okay.
And I can't shoot it. The kids go, why can't you shoot? I go, because there was no reason to practice it. I said, I'll shoot 12 footers and beat all of you. And they go, what do you
Yeah.
mean? Because I could shoot 12 footers. It's like
Right.
there was no point of the 3-pointer. I
Right.
know.
Exactly. We didn't know what a 3-pointer. I mean, we were actually told to step in. They didn't want to shoot from 19 feet out.
No, that's too far. That's too far. I know. It is true.
Exactly.
It is true. All right. So you got some questions for me?
Yeah, I just wanted to bounce some things off of you real quick
Okay.
to you know, I watched your YouTube channel for probably the last couple of years. I got the rule of three and funnel down
Down. Okay.
programs, and then I went ahead and jumped into this. I do also have a subscription with Rick over in Read and React. Better
Yeah, I like Read and
basketball.
React. I like reading. The problem I have with Read and React is it's too complicated. It's like
That's what I want to talk to you about
it's too
because I mean,
complicated.
if I can understand if you have kids year round, um, kids that you could recruit with a higher basketball IQ, it would be a very effective and potent offense, as the Iowa women showed that it can be this
Yep.
past year.
Yep.
But for high school kids that you have for 3 months, and maybe
I'm
athletes,
going to go on a side note. Iowa women's basketball is an outlier because Caitlin's not normal.
right?
So I mean, we could run any off. I could run the flex with her. She's going to get her. I mean, it's yeah. She's just
it helps to have the athletes.
They have the
Or
players
the personnel.
Yeah, I think it's what I think with Read and React too a little bit is I think 10 15 years ago, you know, they were playing together. My guys aren't playing together as much. They're off playing, but they're not playing together. I think there's a cohesiveness you need to run that offense. If you're in the right town, the right community, and they're all playing, it might work. But
Yeah.
we never got past layer 3 or 4. Like
I Yeah, we're through layer 5, and this would be my 3rd year if I decide to do it. But that's why I wanted to talk to you because my team, I inherited a really young team my first year. This will be my 3rd year with this group, and we were young, and so that was probably my mistake. I was bringing in an offense that to me made sense, but for a 15, 16-year-old mind, it was too much to handle.
Right.
And so I think in a self-reflection of my team, we've got good size, and I've got the most experience I've had in 3 years. I've got on a 12-man roster, I'll have 11 or 5 5 seniors, 6 juniors, and 1 sophomore. And
That's pretty good.
otherwise, I've been sophomore dominated with some freshmen and just a couple of juniors and seniors. So we've been getting beat up on the last 2 years. But
Yeah,
this
it's
is the year that we
it's a
can-
physicality thing at that age
Yeah.
too. They just change so much. So you've got size. Do you have ball handling?
Well, yeah, the size I got, I go 6'8", 6'6", 6'4", 6'3", 6'2". Those are my top 5 in terms of size.
That's pretty good.
Ball handling, I have a slasher, I have a 3-point shooter, I have a kid that could be the quarterback of the team, but he doesn't want that mantle.
Right.
But he's a good ball handler, but he just doesn't want the ball in his hands. It's kind of frustrating, but and he'll be a senior. So I don't have that true point guard in terms of
How do I beat you?
how do you beat me?
Yeah.
I would say if you pressure my guards, they're going to make
Okay.
bad. We averaged 19 turnovers a game last year.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No. That's
Yes.
just no. My skin is getting goosey bumps.
And
Like,
here's a fun fact. I just had
and
basketball
you
camp.
play, and you play 8-minute quarters.
Yes.
Oh, I'd they'd give me out of the hospital if we had an 8 turnovers.
Well,
We play 18-minute halves, and I freak out if we have more than 12 turnovers.
well, that's where I would like. That's where I would like to be. Is where you freak out. And
Yeah, you can't like turning that. That's you can't win. You can't win at all if you turn the ball over.
I've explained to the guys, you get maybe what 70 possessions a game, maybe, and then if you're throwing it away 1/3 of the time, you got
It says
only
so. Tell them
2/3.
on the scoreboard it's a 6-point turnaround.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
it's 3 points. So it could be 30-27. You turn it over, they score. Like
yeah,
it's now it's 3. You can score and 3 they can score every time. Like
yeah,
so if you turn it over, so let's say we average 12 and you average 8. That's 7 times. I hit 2 or 3 threes on. I go 2 for 7. I'm beating you. Like it's
Yeah.
just you can't. Oh my gosh, turnovers is my pet peeve. If you can't, tell. I
it's
can't
it's mine too.
handle pet peeves.
We drill it, and we do drills that that tries to teach them recognition.
Is it too much dribbling?
Yes, absolutely.
That would be my guess. much
I have
dribbling.
one in particular that comes to mind that he's very athletic. He's my slasher. He can take it to the rim. He's 6'1". He can almost dunk it, but he predetermines he's going to drive to the rim. He gets there. Uh-oh, I don't have anything. Now I got to get rid of it, but I don't have a plan.
Oh.
And then he's stuck under the basket. And that's what leads to some of the turnovers. Otherwise, some other turnovers is trying to force it into
I
our
always tell
ditch.
my guys, so I'm going to drive. We were in Wisconsin. I go, I'm going to drive to California. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have a plan. I'm not going to drive to Maine and then drive from Maine to California. It's like they oh my gosh, it drives me bonkers. It's like you got to have a map. You got to map this out a little bit. Like, yeah, is it full court pressure or is it just in the half court?
It's both. We'll be in the half court, and probably half of the turnovers that we commit are unforced. They're on us. They're just bad decisions, just stupid passes. I mean, I can't. It's
Are you deep enough to pull? That's the question.
well. Okay, I had a
That's what I would
conversation
do.
with Rick about that with the layers, the circle movement, layer 4 and stuff. And he said, "Well, coach, he said sometimes you just got to take them off the floor." So I would say I could probably go 9 deep.
Oh, if you can go 9, you turn it over and you do stupid, you're out. You're out. And,
So
and try to get a scrimmage before the season starts so you can teach them that before it really matters.
yeah.
You're
Yeah,
out. You turn
we
it
had 3
over.
scrimmages last year. We had I had a basketball camp here last week. A decent camp is our second one, and I had Jordan Bohannon
Okay.
here as a special guest with us for a couple days,
That was great.
and he did like a 90-minute program with my guys, and they all pretty much came in for it. I kind of made them. So anyway, he ran them through about a 90-minute deal, and he was having them do this one particular drill, and he looks over at me and says, "Coach, I understand why you have a turnover problem.
Right.
It's just their IQ is
They
not
don't
good."
clear. They don't look.
Well,
Yeah.
it was a 5-man weave, shoulder to shoulder, walking down the court. It wasn't like a 5-man spread across.
Right.
the
You could,
passing.
you do it really tight. And he's got
Exactly. They couldn't figure out how to walk forward and just hand the ball off and go behind the 2 outside guys and keep. It took them almost 10 minutes, and I'm not kidding. 10, because Jordan says, "You guys are killing me. This is supposed to be a 5-minute drill, and it's taking us 20 minutes." It's that's what I'm up against. We have physical.
Do you watch a lot of film?
Do we?
Yeah.
Probably not as much as we should because of time constraints.
Yeah. So here's what I would do is I try to cut short. So this is what I've done too, is like I've tried to really condense my practices because we live in a TikTok world. I've really tried to, like, if it's not, I don't need it, I'm getting rid of it. And I've tried to do more.
Like 90 minutes.
Yeah. But it's definitely 90 minutes to 75 minutes by the end of the year, but condensed. Yeah. But then I'll go 2.5 because I'll do film, and then I'll do team bonding, life lessons. What aren't we doing? Why are we acting this way? Blah, blah, blah. It's like, because they just don't know it. It's either COVID. It's like, oh my gosh. It's like, no, this is the way you handle when we're down. And we spend time on situations. Like we'll put a clip on the situation. I'll pick a game. I'll go on YouTube and I'll find a game from 3 years ago, and I'll say, okay, what are we going to do? And then we have a conversation, because they don't think, I don't know, maybe you would think with all the video games, they would think basketball more, but our generation's like, I watched it on TV and I watched Michael Jordan. It's like, yeah. Maybe I didn't have as much to watch, so I was watching more basketball, but
my assistant coaches do a good job, but we do subscribe to Huddle, so
okay.
they'll
watch themselves. They'll watch themselves when they watch the tape. The players will. Yeah.
Well, we try to bring up 15 to 20 teaching points, 5-6 second clips that shows the turnover, the situation, and why it was a bad decision, and not to do that again. We will do that if we had.
And do you call on the kids? I'd call on them. Say, what should you have done here? I teach you got it's basically got to be a classroom, is my theory with that. Yeah. Like, so John just turned it over because he threw a long pass to somebody. So you go, John, what's wrong? Why? Okay. And then I want to know what's going through his brain. And sometimes they'll say, man, coach, I thought he was open. I threw it long. Okay. Well, what could you have done different? So I want to correct the mistake. I don't have a problem with the mistake. I have a problem with they making the same mistake twice. I mean, that's the problem. Is you want to look at the turnovers, my guess is you would see the same turnover 1 or 2, 3 times.
Oh, absolutely.
From the same person, the same type.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
And it's like, okay, I can live with 1. I can't live with 2 or 3. Like, come on.
Well, so that brings me to my question. With the personnel that I have, with the size that I have now, they're fairly athletic. The bigs are, I'm saying, my 6'4", 6'3" down the line. Those guys are all good athletes. They run the floor well. They can. Are they all good shooters? No, I don't have one outstanding basketball player, but they each have a unique skill set or 2 that makes them valuable to the team as a whole.
Right.
And so together they can be pretty good this year I expect.
So you want to hide the bad and accentuate the positive.
Right. So my question for you is, if I get rid of the read and react this year, just because I think it's probably more than they can handle mentally. I even tried the rule of three last year, to be honest, and they had a hard time with the screen away and then the slip and pop.
I know they do. So and it's only three things. So to
Yes.
imagine it's like, oh my gosh. So the problem is you got to drill the crud out of that in small. You got if you want to run that, you got to just drill the crud out of. So they're not thinking anymore. The problem is
Right.
they're thinking. I pass. Where do I got to go? It's like, I mean, I'll use it, but no one really runs out. Like flex, people know that you run here, you cross here. They're not thinking. You know, the
And that
problem
was
is
my
they're.
question. Am I better off looking at a simplified offense like flex or mover blocker? Or
I
what
mean,
there's
how scouted are you going to be?
well
Um,
with huddle quite a bit actually.
yeah, that's what I would think. I mean, I can stop both of those probably. I might run. Um, I'm just trying to think. Um, maybe a high low, maybe
Yeah.
just a
Like three
big go
outs.
back to go. Yeah, just like go back to like a Bobby Knight motion offense. Like pass, and what are you gonna do? Screen cut. You know, really simple. Like work on spacing, work on the bigs got to get touches, work on handoffs. Like we're gonna do
Yep.
some Zoom stuff this year.
Yep.
Um, work on ball screens. Like tell them, hey, I believe like this is what you do. It's a boys team, right?
Correct.
Okay. So
Boys varsity. Yeah.
yeah. So Boise can convince them of anything. Um, so I trust you guys. So here's what I would say. I trust you guys. I think we're going to be really good. I'm going to leave some freedom on offense. Now, if you do that, and here's going to be our rules, and here's how we're going to space, and here's what we want to get. And if it doesn't work, you can throw it out. But I think it will. The key to that is, so and so needs to know what kind of shots he can take, and so needs to know what
Right.
shots that the role thing is going to be a bigger issue in that.
Right.
When can you dribble attack and when shouldn't you dribble attack?
So if you're going three out, two in, and then have a high low and say
And then
like
and then depending on your bigs, maybe one big can set a ball screen, maybe one big can pop. I don't know if any of them either one of them can shoot a three. You can make different rules for different kids. I've done that in the past. Like this guy can't leave the paint, but this guy can pop and flare or pop, pop and roll, whatever you want to do. So you give them some freedom of like, well, look what's happening. Are you going to come set maybe get a ball, maybe get a handoff? Like, so I think that's where you could give them a lot of freedom. Again, that's where the roles are going to come in because John can pop and shoot threes, but Sam can't. You can't shoot outside 12 feet. Sorry, bud. Show me you can in an empty gym and I'll let you do it. But
and I'm going to have those candid discussions before this year. But the thing I do like about read and react and the rule of three is the unpredictability of it from a scouting standpoint. Like you alluded to, it's hard. I don't even know what they're going to do, but I want to give them some freedom and autonomy.
So my guess is they pass and they cut a lot.
In the read and react, we don't do any back screening. We don't look for back doors very often. It's
what do they do? What do they do? They cut.
They pass and cut.
Yep. So don't let them do that. For the first 2 weeks, you don't even
cut. They go behind the defender.
Yep. Don't let them do that at all.
Yeah.
Because that's easy. That's what my guys were doing when we were doing read react too. They'd pass, they'd cut. It was predictable. So you can't. So if you have, I don't know what your rules are in your state, but if you have open gyms, like I would try. You
can do rule of three with three out, two in, right?
You can.
I mean, pass, screen away, and then. Yep. But then with the slip.
And the slip, and that's kind of a high low. They kind of work like this.
But what if it's a wing?
I don't. The wing. So you pass from the top to the wing,
right?
Well, there's options. Then he can come up and set a screen. He can go short corner opposite. You kind of. Again, I give the three guys one set of rules and the two guys another set of rules.
Yeah, because they won't cross each other in terms of responsibilities. No. Like the guys who are 6'3" and above will never be on the wing.
No.
And the guys that are shorter will never be in the block in the lane.
In the wing. Yeah. Yeah. As long as you got enough depth, you can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like it. I like both of them. I like to read and react in the rule of three. I mean, I think they're both good. Because they give them, but the problem is they tend to do one thing. I was in our gym today when they were playing, the kids were doing the same move every, like poop, poop. It was the same move.
Yep.
So as soon as they do that, I'm done. You can't do that anymore because they're going to do
Right.
that in a game anyway. So I got to teach a different skill. So we'll do like 3-on-3, can only score off a back screen. We're just going to play 3-on-3, have some fun. But you can only score on a back screen, or you can only score on a flare. That's it. That's the only way you can score. Can't shoot unless you do that. And because they're thinking. You don't want them to think. The good ones don't. Like the ones I've coached that are special. It's like they're not thinking that, oh crap, the kid turned his head, I need to flash to the hoop. They just do it because it's a reaction. So you got to drill to get the reaction. It's like 2 + 2 is 4. I don't think about that. I just do it. It's just
right.
I know it.
You just
It's
know
the same thing. Yeah, it's the same thing with I'm going to pass, I'm going to cut. I'm not even cut the right way, but I'm going to pass, I'm going to cut. I'm going to pass, I'm going to cut. I'm gonna pass. I mean, I swear to God, I spent like a year and a half. That's all I saw was passing cuts. It's like, great, we can do that.
Right. Level 1.
Yeah, level 1.
First thing to do.
Yeah, but don't let them do level 1. So when we do stuff in practice, no level 1. Can't do it.
Because what I do like about the read and react is the Laker cut. I do like that.
I do too.
I like that give and go concept. 3 the dribble at, that is kind of a.
I like what Rick says about kind of drafting behind too.
The draft drive.
The hard part with the draft is if he gets stopped, it's a hard pass back. It is really hard. We've worked on that pass because behind the driver is always open. It's always open. Look at NBA, look at college. Look, when a guy drives, if you fill in behind, it's always open. The problem is it's open because it's a hard pass to make. No one ever makes the pass back.
And part of our turnovers comes from penetration into a crowded lane, which gives me pause because then they go into an area where there's 2 of our guys, 2 of their guys, there's 4 guys in the lane. Right. They get swallowed up like a water buffalo in a watering hole by a pride of lions.
Do they think they're getting to the rim?
Well, they think they're going to, but they don't.
They end up
getting stripped going in or tied up.
I know. That's got to be a rough first couple weeks of the season when you're showing film. It's like, you can't do this, guys. Sorry. I'll show you 1,000 clips of you driving to the hoop and getting stopped. What's going to happen? You're going to turn over. You're going to charge. You're going to you're going to take a bad shot. Nothing good's going to happen. Sorry. Smoke cigarettes.
The first day of practice with my incoming freshmen, I have my best defenders in the paint. I put up orange cones to give them just a little bit wider than the width of the lane. And I put 3 guys in the lane. Right. And I give a freshman a basketball. And I said, okay, go 1-on-3.
Right.
And if you can score, I mean, you're going to show me something. Yeah. And I don't tell them that the point is they can't do it.
You can't do it.
After they do it 2 or 3 times and get the crap beat out of them going in there, they said this is impossible.
Well, and then you've had a young team recently too. And when you're young and not strong, you're gonna like a senior boy and a freshman boy is like a man versus a boy. Yeah. It really is. It really is.
My 6'8" kid is 6'8", 235, and as a freshman, he was 6'5" and maybe 200.
Yeah.
So
they just changed. No, I would stick with it if you think the read and react on Rule 3 works.
I understand it. So for me, I get it. So it's getting them to understand it, but I look at it all year long.
Yeah. And you think about it all year long.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I'm just trying to make myself better for the benefit of my kids, because you
can eliminate a lot. It doesn't sound like it's dribble drive. It doesn't sound like, there's it doesn't fit. I think you fit into the right thing with who you have. I mean, you could run a triangle-ish kind of offense if you wanted to, but you better have couple really light out shooters too, if you're going to do that.
I do have one. He's a legit 3-point shooter. Him and Jordan Bohannon went head to head on a 3-point shooting drill that we have.
But you need more than one if you're going to run triangle.
I know. I got one.
Yeah, that's the problem.
One sharp shooter.
Yeah, and I don't think you want I don't think the structured continuity offenses work as well anymore because people have over scouted. Huddle's made it too easy. 20 years ago, they weren't staying up all night with me, like me, and doing 2 VHS tapes. Like,
Right.
people weren't doing it. I was doing it because I wanted to win.
Yeah.
So no, I think you stick with it. I think you just, what I would do is start working on how you're going to break it down in practice. I think that's the kicker. Like,
So,
how can that skill set, what skills do you need, and how can you break that skill set down? Like,
so in your library I've done some
there's a bunch of breakdown drills in the rule of three. I know I have a bunch in there,
okay.
like 2 on
Is that
2,
in the,
3
is
on
that in the
3.
main part of the teachhoops.com, or is that
That's
in
on
the,
the that's in the rule of three offense thing
okay.
I bought.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. The other one's just kind of a general overview.
Right. Okay.
So I would do that. I mean, that's what I'm doing right now, because we're kind of leaving some of our stuff that we're doing, and we're gonna run we're gonna run some rule of three, and then we're gonna run some zoom actions. So I'm trying to work in some continuity right now with handoffs and stuff. So what I'm thinking, what I'll spend August on is, okay, how can I drill this to teach it to them?
Do you
Because I
have
can
anything
put,
with, do you have anything with the Zoom action yet on the website?
I don't. I'll send you. I can, after we get off here, I'll send you a video of my guys running it
Okay.
during one of our contact days. I'll write myself a note. So I
Because
remember.
we actually tried messing with that a little bit last year, later in
I'll
the
send
year.
you the, and again, disclaimer. I'll send you the PDF that my coaches and I have been sending back and forth.
Okay.
It's like 16 pages. You'll see stuff that, like, questions, or do we do option one, option two, option three? Because we're still trying to we're working some stuff out for us, but I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Just know that when you see option one, you can only do one of those, because we're bouncing it back between the five
Right.
of us, figuring out, okay, which one's going to work, because we know our personnel, like, where can we put our pieces? It's like a puzzle piece. And then I'll send you one of my coaches in one of our contact days taped it and sent me the tape because I was gone.
Okay.
So I'll send you, it's like a 10-minute, it's not great video. I mean, it's fine video, but it's on the floor, so you can see the movements.
Yeah.
But and there's a continuity to that too. I like different options.
I do
Offense.
too.
So
I
that's
like
what I'm saying. You could have a continuity. You could put flex in. I could teach your kids flex in 10 minutes if you want something different. And then maybe the ball's got to go in the post, or, maybe you do a dribble drive if you got a couple dribblers out there. I don't know. And you set a ball. I don't know, something. But I think high school teams if you can get them out of rhythm,
right.
that's, sometimes you're just out of rhythm. Their girlfriends didn't talk to them at lunch. So they're out of rhythm, and you got to
Right.
you got to like putting the paddles back on them. You got to reshock them into.
One thing I saw was with the read and react with the 5 out. I just saw something from Coach Hackenberg, I believe,
Yeah.
that he has a 5 out that it's 5 out, but he can get into the flex motion out of that. So you can camouflage going into flex by being in 5 out initially versus, lining up in a traditional flex.
Right. And then, but then after that, I know what you're going to do.
After a couple of
rotations, man. People in our league do it. And the thing is, if you got athletes, I'm going to steal the ball. I mean, I'm going to take away again that the nuances. Can you run? I mean, the Badgers ran swing and flex forever. You can run it, but then you got to run it. Like, you got to, what happens when I reverse it? How you got to have all the counters. That's the thing with, continuity offenses. If I take two things away, a lot of high school teams are going to crumble because they don't have enough time. Like you said, like, when Bo Ryan was running the Badgers, they were running the swing, and in the finals against UK, they knew all the UK takes this, we do this, we do that. It's like a chess thing.
Yeah.
Because they have more time. We don't have that time. Shoot.
Do you have shot clock in Wisconsin?
We don't.
Okay. We do in Iowa.
We have two 18-minute halves though.
Okay. Yeah, we got 8-minute quarters, 35-second shot clock. And then this year, are you adopting the new NFHS rule for fouls per quarter?
We're not, because we're in halves.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah.
So we're not following the rules anyway, so they're not going to do anything. I've been fighting, and I was even on the state association board. I was fighting for an extra timeout. I go, just give me an extra timeout. 18 minutes, a lot of time. Like, just let me. I don't need the quarters anymore. It does that. It definitely affects the flow of the game.
So what do you
18-minute
get? 5
halves.
timeouts for
I
the
get
game?
5 timeouts.
Hmm.
Yeah, 18 minutes. And no one can play 36 minutes. Like my stud last year played 32,
Yeah.
31. I got to pull them. I don't
Right.
want to,
Yeah.
but I got to
know.
rest both of them because you can't
Gotcha.
play 36
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah.
Ever. But I will send that to you. I will send as soon as we get off, I'll send that Zoom
Okay.
stuff. I'll either probably send it as a link.
That's fine.
Do that.
I'll look for it.
Okay. Anything
Okay.
else?
Not right now.
All right.
Just take this and
Take
kind of
this and
absorb
play
it.
with it. And if you get some ideas, we can bounce some ideas off. Hey, what do you think of this? Because I'm working on that. That's what August is for me. I'm working on breakdown stuff too. So,
oh no, one more quick question, I guess. For a set, because the kids asked me about this last year at our end of the year deal meeting. Since I have legitimate bigs this year, you think it would be
a high low. You should definitely have a high low.
high? What about running out of horns?
You can run out of horns. So
Horns low.
here's the thing with quick hitters, and my assistant coach is so good at me. He says, there's so many quick hitters in the world. There are like tens of thousands of them.
Yes.
If I'm doing a high low, my other quick hitter should not have a high low. Like I'm gonna get good at this. Every quick hitter should give you something like a ball screen and a isolation 2-man game, or a horn set, or a high-low look. So if they overlap, then I'm not doing this new one. I'm only doing things that are going to give me different looks. You know what I'm saying? Because if you grab,
do you stick with the same ones throughout the entire season?
Or I do first half, second half, but I'll have 2 different types of high-low looks. I'll have 2 different types of ball screen looks, and I'll change. And literally, I'm only worried about a couple coaches in my league that over scout. The rest of them don't. We can run the same thing, but I want to get really good at that high low. So they get the read. It's similar to running the offense. I want them to get the reads, and what happens if they deny this, and what happens if that. But I'm not going to have 2 high low quick hitters. I'm going to have one. And if it's no good, I'll get rid of it and get another one. But I think the problem with coaches is they see a quick hitter and they put it in. They get a quick hitter and they put. You want everyone to do something different because. Okay, crud, we're down 3. We need a 3-pointer. They should have a quick hitter to get a quick 3-pointer. Oh, shoot, we need to take some time off the clock, or we need to, whatever it is, it should be something different. So when you're picking them, that's hard for me because I'll pick one and then a month later I'll find, ooh, this one looks really good. Let's try it. And then he'll yell at me because he goes, Steve, that does the same thing as this one. So we either get rid of that one or keep. And we've worked on that one for 3 weeks. Let's get better at that one. And he's right.
That's the problem with myself is
I know it's the shiny object thing, and you can't do it. You got to just
spend hundreds of hours during the off season, and it's paralysis by analysis. And
And here's the other issue is like you got to be willing to let it go. Like we didn't have during the post-COVID season, that 2021 season. We didn't have, and we spent an entire year getting ready for the following year. And 2 weeks into the season, we threw it all out because it wasn't working.
Well, you guys didn't have any games?
We didn't have any games. 2021 season.
Huh.
0. So so it's 2 years ago. Yeah, we didn't play. So think about us as coaches. We had a year of that. And we had all these grand plans, and it didn't work. Like, this didn't work. Well, we can't, I threw them. I mean, stuff wasn't working the first half of our season this year, and we threw some stuff out and we tweaked our offense. And if it's not working, you got to tweak it. Like, people we're not college coaches. We don't get to decide. Like, I'm just going to go recruit.
Right. Players, you got to take what you're given. It's just that this particular lineup that I have is probably a once in a 8 to 10 year lineup.
That size wins in high school.
It does in Class 1A in Iowa.
Length and size wins.
Yep.
It really does in high school.
I'm excited about the season. Like I said, I'm just trying to make myself the best version of myself I can be as a coach to help them be.
Well, let's plan on getting together. I can help too. We can get on a call, and once you get film and stuff, we can definitely do that too. It's I appreciate it because it helps me a lot. All right. We'll talk, Coach.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.
Have a
Bye.
good night.
Thanks for watching, Coach. Make sure you go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. Make sure you subscribe so you get notified every time we come back on. But you will not be disappointed with teachhoops.com. 14-day free trial. Let's go check it out. Have a great day.